Hello, welcome to the new episode of Vaani's podcast series. In this series, we cover business, economy, and related contemporary issues, and we discuss these issues with IIM Amritsar fraternity, including students, faculties, and alumni. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected all walks of life, be it industries working, operating environment for corporate professionals, or the realm of education. So the theme for our today's discussion is Future of Management Education in India post-COVID, Opportunities and Challenges. We are honored to have our Honorable Director, Sir, Professor Nagarajan Ramamoorthy, with us to share his views on the theme. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Sir, as I talked about in the introduction part, the pandemic has set new normals for every field. So, what do you think are the major challenges for the future managers, entrepreneurs, and management education institutions?
That's a good question. I actually see some, first of all, like COVID-19 pandemic, because it paralyzed most of the economic sectors, including education, did create some innovative opportunities for education sector. And also for entrepreneurship. For example, like here in India, I have read a lot of housewives who were not doing anything, right, found the opportunity during COVID to start online businesses, using the supply chain challenges that companies are facing. Yes. So I expect that these type of, it's not really one, but many other stories we have, like including, for example, someone who sourced yarn, right, from during the COVID time by sitting in Mumbai. Yes. And she has grown that into a 4 or 5 crore business per annum. So in terms of employment opportunity, the COVID taught us there are different ways we can still function without actually going into the physical mode. Same thing with education. I think most of us concluded some of the institutions actually did 2 years of education only online, and whereas IIM Amritsar, we did only about half of that, or less than half of it in online, the rest was offline. So there are opportunities that these challenges can pose for business people, for educational institutions. And what I say, some of the lessons we learned, such as working from home, managing the supply chain, these things may actually become permanent feature of the future economy. Yes. So that I would say will likely stay. Okay. So that itself is for management education. We can also mention that how do we impart those type of working from home and managing a workforce who are dispersed, or even people, students not coming to class or having a face-to-face interaction, but still develop the soft skills. So we did that once. I think that's something we can carry forward into the future as a management school.
Definitely, there are so many things even we as the students experience, and definitely the things will work for the futures. So, sir, there are a lot of rumors around the new AI-based chatbot, ChatGPT. Like in a recent article which I was reading, in Economic Times, it was compared with a calculator, which is supposed to make the life easy and more efficient. But at the same time, many of the school districts in US are banning it because of cheating concern. So, what are your thoughts on this? How it will impact the management students and B schools? How can B schools leverage its full potential?
See, this is true of any technology. Even before this ChatGPT and others, we did have internet. Where the school system, like high school or elementary school or higher learning institutions like us, see, what we are trying to do is to help students learn. Okay. Now, if AI and others can actually do it, why do we need employees? Why do we need students? Okay. So as long as these tools are available for enhancing the learning, right? As let's honestly think, there are different people who have different learning styles. some of them may not be able to get the concepts in class in that 1 hour. If they want to go back home and do additional research, use the Chatbot or the AI or machine learning tools to even watching YouTube, right, and learning something, right, that is perfectly okay. I think it should be, because the ultimate goal is that we have to educate, everybody should learn. To the extent possible, we bring all of them at the same level playing field. In terms of why the schools are banning, the second part of your question, why US schools are banning, it is a different dimension. It is to prevent cheating. Okay. So I have no issue if a student learns outside, comes and demonstrates his knowledge in an assessment situation, either through exams or presentation or whatever it is, then we can say, look, the student has learned what she is supposed to learn. It is like using cheating papers in exams. So obviously, it's any different from, the older days where students used to have what we call as the big papers, where the answers are written, the points are taken. So I think that's why. In terms of challenges for the management or any education, this one is that we have to come up with more innovative ways of assessing student learning, knowing very well that these tools are available and these can potentially be used as a cheating mechanism. Okay. So ultimately the question is, are we awarding degrees to the students or are we awarding degrees to ChatGPT or other AI ML tools? So it will boil down to that question.
There are challenges associated with every new technology, yes, and it is always a two-way sword. Yes. It can be used both ways.
Yes.
Sir, UGC has recently announced new draft norms for facilitating the top university to set up campuses in India. And as per the draft, those universities will be given autonomy for devising their own curriculum and their fee structure as well. So how will it impact our current education ecosystem, especially the higher education in the country?
I do see a few, I have read the draft of UGC. There are some issues still we have to wait and see how it pans out. For example, one of the requirements is that the faculty teaching there must spend substantial time in India. Whether it will be done by them or not, how we are going to enforce it, the monitoring, so on and so forth, there are different type of questions. I think the second thing is whether we have students in India who are willing to join those institutions where they have their own selection procedure, fee structure, and all that, is again another question that we have to wait and see how it pans up. For example, if you send someone to US or UK or Germany for higher studies, it's not just, learning is not just simply about whether you pass the subjects or get the degree. It's a holistic experience where you live, interact with people. Now, we are sending, say, parents in India are sending their children to abroad. They are not just sending them for the course content or methodology, but also for the living and learning experience. Now, when those institutions come here, right, again, that part of the diverse cultural learning, those things will not be there.
Yes, sir.
Where maybe most Indian students. Yes. So I do see the two types. There are people who are cost conscious and all that. They may send their children to study in the Indian institutions, and others may send to the parent institution, the home country. So that's something we have to wait and see how it comes up. In terms of the education landscape, when these things take place, it can actually pose challenges for. It will create a competitive environment for Indian higher education institutions. Okay. Meaning, we sort of forced up our quality and our perceived quality or actual quality, whatever you want to call it, to the international standards, right? Which may also have impact on how we design our curriculum and deliver it. So that. It can actually help the Indian education sector to benchmark against the best, some of the best or internationally ranked institutions, so that we also rise up to that level.
Yes, competitive environment will definitely boost our issue now, push them to raise their level up.
Yes.
So, on similar lines, a lot of Indian universities and management institutes are exploring collaboration with foreign universities. So, on similar lines, is there a scope for building synergy among Indian institutions and universities also?
See, of course, yes, I would say. For example, like, in India, some of the specialized institutions are created, like IITs for technical education, IIMs for management education. We have our own unique skills, and IITs have their own unique skills.
Yes.
So, similar to NITs and other med schools. We have, and actually, IIM Amritsar, we have entered into a MOU with IIT Ropar to offer a MSc Data Science program commencing next year, which will be a residential. Students spend 1 year, the first year in IIT Ropar, the second year in IIM Amritsar. We capitalize on their technical skills, and at the same time we also they capitalize on our management skills, so that students presumably get a much better education than just focusing either on the technical or management side. We have also entered into MOU, a joint degree program with NIT Jalandhar, an integrated 5-year BTech MBA program. So where the students spend 4 years in NIT Jalandhar, and the last year they come to us. And when they are actually in NIT Jalandhar, in addition to doing the NIT courses, they will also, they'll also cover some of the courses from us. So it's been integrated 5-year BTech MBA program. So I do see that other institutions like IIM Indore and IIT Indore, they have such collaboration. And I do see most of these things likely taking place. Most of these agreements are joint programs and all that collaboration taking place among the Indian higher education institutions. NAP 2020 also encourages this collaboration.
Yes, sir. Even the previous IIT exams like IIM Calcutta and IIT Kharagpur and ISI, that they also conduct a program, and there is that program is running really soon. And we hope that similar programs, similar issues come with other similar programs as well. Sir, according to the World Data of 2022, 65% of the population is still rural, and most of them are marginalized and deprived of many opportunities. So how can we make the management education more inclusive to address these challenges?
See, I think the NEP also, for example, has the goal of increasing the gross enrollment ratio and all that in higher education. So it is true, it's not just for India. Even the so-called developed countries like US and all that, there is a digital divide, like a lot of people living in the rural areas may not have access to the education system. I think that is where, for example, we do see that technology can actually come in handy. Because affordability is there. Some people may not be able to send their children to urban area to live and learn. So that is why we have many of these, the tech companies are there, and then learning management systems are there, which can be used to reach out to a broader audience.
Yes.
And that should be made, because I think there is a wealth of talent in the rural areas which are untapped. And if we have to really make India a great place for manufacturing or service or any such thing, we have to tap into the rural population and the talent that is residing there.
Definitely, sir. So many students are coming from rural background and reaching to these top institutions. So the reach is increasing. That's the only thing is that we need to make more people access these things accessible to them. So, sir, now coming to IIM Amritsar. So, what role IIM Amritsar has been playing for preparing the future leaders and entrepreneurs for the challenging times ahead? What are the major offerings from our side for different level corporate professionals?
I think in the past 3 years, I can speak about, that rather than just focusing on one MBA program, that we have introduced specialized programs in analytics and HR. We also have the executive MBA program to reach out to working adults, who cannot afford or unwilling to leave their job and then go for a full-time degree program. We'll be graduating the first batch next month, in April.
Yes.
And next year, we are also launching a program in Delhi, NCR, the weekend MBA program for the Delhi market for working adults. We introduced for the young rural population. We introduced a 11-month certificate program in data sciences. I think that batch will be graduating in March. And we just launched 2 long-duration certificate programs for data management and data science just a week ago. These are virtual, so students anywhere from the country or world can learn. We do have few more skill development courses or programs being developed and ready to be launched in the next few months. So, we are doing a variety of things to target, plus executive education. We have been running a lot of executive education programs for leading both public sector and private sector companies.
Yes.
In the past 2-3 years. So we are trying to reach out to the educational needs, skill development needs of the country across various levels. We are trying out what we can do given our constraints.
Definitely, sir. IIM Amritsar has a very wide portfolio of offerings, and even the industries, I think they are recognizing us and they are putting that trust in us, and I hope the things will continue in the future as well. So, sir, as the selection process is going on for the next batch of students at different schools, and there is a large pool of students who is aspiring to be part of IIM Amritsar as well. So, what is your message for them, and what makes IIM Amritsar stand apart among its peers?
I don't want to go into the extent of saying that we stand apart from the rest, because each institution has its own unique culture. They have their own unique identity, and we are trying to develop our own unique identity. In fact, somebody asked me why we are not part of the CAP program just a week ago, and I said no, that we want to control, right? We want to bring people who we think will assimilate our values. Our thing is igniting possibilities. We want to do it for everyone, not regardless of race, gender, economics, socio-economic status, and so on and so forth. And based on each year, we also look at, we take an introspection as to what worked for us and what did not work for us, and what we need to make a change. There are different institutions offering different programs. I would tend to believe that they are all of equal quality. I think here we are trying to also develop leaders with a humanistic perspective, people with wisdom and integrity. So there are various things that we look for. If you draw an analogy, you may have several girls wanting to marry you, but you marry only one, and the question comes, why only this person, right? Then there is something that goes on between them, the alignment of values and so on and so forth. The same thing we are really looking at here. We have grown, we are growing, and both our outreach and the lot of activities that we do. I think we only had a few conclaves in the past few years. Now, for example, we have expanded the learning opportunities, the extracurricular activities, like e-summit, the leadership talk. So, to help students learn or become better leaders for the future, we are finding a variety of things that probably some others may or may not be out there. So that is why the students have to really look at and see, it's IIM Amritsar, knowing what they are, the various things that they are doing, and considering my own value system, is this the right place?
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
We don't want any student who comes here just for placement. I think placement is only one aspect of it, but the overall development. Just to conclude, a few years down the road, nobody is going to say which institute you graduated from, but then after that it is only who you are, how you define yourself, what you have, what identity you have created for yourself, what you have accomplished, what significant contributions you have made. These are the things, and I believe that we do prepare students with that type of mindset.
Yes. Definitely, sir. Sir, as the interviews are going on for the new batch, and 2 years back I was on the similar position. So at this stage, students tend to get nervous about their preparations. Are they well prepared or not? Sometimes they are not clear about what are the expectations of the B schools from them. So if you can put some light on that, that would help, your word will help a great deal to the aspiring students.
I think, what I would say, one has to be very self-confident. That's the most important thing. And just to give you a little story about ourselves, one of my batchmates from XLR in the 80s, he was telling me, that about this cat and all that. And he was saying, now probably we won't make it. I said, look, why do you think so? Because during our days, there was no coaching centers. No model exams were available. So even for the XLR admission test, when you go there, the type of questions that came were completely new.
Yes.
I mean, it was something that not like a theory question that you learned in high school or college,
Yes.
Where you answer.
Yes.
And it was purely like raw, talent, I would say at that time, the intelligence, whatever you call it, is what they measure. The thing is, same with the interviews. You don't know whether they're going to ask you about politics or economics or social issues or whatever it is. I think what we really are looking for is, for people, it's not an absolute right or wrong answer in my opinion. I can't speak for the faculty who are doing the interview. But what we are really looking for is creative ways, how the students do that.
Yes.
The confidence level. So, my advice is just be yourself. Just go there. Don't get stressed out because it will show up on your interview. Relax and just be self-confident. Okay, if it comes, you'll be pleasantly surprised when if you get admission or something like that. I didn't think I did well on the interview, but why I got the admission or why I got a job the same way. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it happens, sir. So thank you so much for your valuable time and for sharing such insightful thoughts with us. I think all our listeners will get benefited from it, and especially the new aspiring students. They will feel more confident, and they might have got to know a few more things about IIM Amritsar and what unique things we are offering and what sort of culture we have here. And it's a huge learning opportunities for everyone, including me, to have this one-to-one discussion with Honorable Director, sir. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.